Howdy, it's Mark from blogline.com, and Mark from 45 and 5 has been inspiring me to do a few more video blogs and that kind of thing, although I'm not really I don't really have the guts to put my own mug up on the site yet. So anyway, I thought I'd put together this really quick Excel training video deal-em-a-bobber here, and hopefully it helps you guys out. Let's see. Alright, so one of the things that I'm working on right now is a quick little spreadsheet that folks will be able to use to generate subdomains and tracking IDs for the subdomains, and then destination URLs through Google and all this kind of stuff, right? So if we scroll to the right here, you can kind of see in this little spreadsheet that we have all that stuff in here set up already. But today what I wanted to talk about really quickly was how we set it up so that we don't iterate formulas in when we're dragging and dropping to autofill code, okay, through Excel. So anyway, over here I have a quick example of how to do that, and let me clear all this out here so we can start again. Okay, what we're kind of talking about doing here is, if we set this up for other people to use, right? Other people are going to have different tracking codes and different ClickBank affiliate IDs, right? So, you know, what you want to do is you want to be able to append all the information into a usable link. And so my first goal with this was to just be able to set it up so that it would append or set up the forwarding URL through the subdomain, the forwarded subdomain. Alright, so anyway, and I'll make videos about how to do all that stuff in the future as well. Hopefully this is zoomed in enough so y'all can see the stuff that we're typing. Anyway, in the first cell here, what you probably want to do is you probably want to have your, you want to go ahead and have your URL, okay? And then, of course, the way to append something in Excel is to use an ampersand sign. So let's say we wanted to create, oh, you know what? Here, we need to go back here. I'm pushing F2 to edit that, and then we're going to use it, put a slash there, okay? And then let's say we wanted to set up a URL that was, you know, blogline.com/fatloss, right? So what we would do here is we'd really simply go equals B4, okay, and then we use the ampersand, and then fat loss right here, okay. So then you end up with blogline.com/fatloss as the URL that you're able to create, right? But that doesn't really get us anywhere because you know, if we drag to autofill this down, right, then it's not going to do anything because it's just, you know, basically it equals this and this, which is nothing right now, okay? So of course we can autofill this by grabbing the little handle here and dragging it down this way, right? And then we see that, you know, our formula worked here because it equaled this plus this blank thing here, right? If we look at the formula, it's equal to B5 and then appending C3, right? Well, that's part of the problem, is we don't want it to append C3, we want it to append our tracking code, which is fat loss, okay? So we have to drag that handle back up there, and again, if we drag this handle down, okay, we end up with something really screwed up, okay? And the reason is because the formula, when you drag to autofill, the formula iterates down one, okay? So up here is where we set up the formula, and it was equal to B4 and C2, right? But when we use the handle to drag it down, right, what it does, well, this is the one that we modified here, but what it does here is it equals the next cell down and the next cell down, and we don't want it to do that, okay? Now the other reason why this is not a good idea to do it this way is because even if we can stop this from iterating down, we don't have any different URLs, so it doesn't get us really where we need to go, okay? Because we need different tracking codes iterated by number or by letter, or, you know, whatever you want to do, okay? So what we're doing here is we want this cell here to equal our tracking code, okay? And then over here, this is where we want to do the appending, right? So we want this one to equal the URL with our tracking code, okay, and that creates our URL for the forward, okay. Now the other thing that we obviously want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to iterate that by number, okay, and you can do this one of let's see, like I can never remember how to do that, to auto drag down to make that happen and iterate automatically. So I just set up a formula real quick, equals the top cell plus 1, okay, and then that equals 2, right? And when I drag this down, that's going to equal this cell plus 1, right? So hit F2 so you can see the formula. It's going to equal A5 plus 1, so that's 3. And we drag this all the way down, and we get 19. Okay, and you could of course drag it down to a bazillion and whatever. Okay, the maximum number for the spreadsheet. All right, so that solves the iteration problem, right? And then what we want to do is we want to append this number here, pal, and you can see that it automatically appends this. I don't know if you can see it in the video here, but it created a link here that there, now you can see it. That was fat loss 1 automatically, just by changing the, this one to be equal to C2 and A4. Okay, so now we want this one to be equal to fat loss 2, right? So you think immediately, well, I'll drag that down, but it doesn't work because remember, as you drag it down, it drags this one down, which is what we want it to do, but it also drags this one down, which is not what we want it to do. Okay, so in order to get around that up there and make the cell freeze on this one, you have to just modify the formula, and it's really simple. What you do is put a $sign in front of the C and a $sign in front of the 3, and we want it to be 2, right? Okay, and then you press enter. Okay, and then what's going to happen there is when you drag it down, it's going to leave where you put the $signs. Okay, it's going to leave the cursor frozen on this one, or the cell frozen on that one, and it's not going to iterate. Okay, while this one still will iterate. Okay, so if we just drag this down this way, thusly, we end up with all of our tracking IDs the way that we want them to be, and then we come over here and we drag all of these down, and voila, we have our URLs that iterate correctly with unique IDs that we'll be able to use to track the conversion rates of our ads, or whatever else. I'm sure this tip can be used in a bunch of different applications in Excel. Okay, so as an example, if you've got somebody somebody else uses a sheet, or you want to do multiple programs in this, let's say the next program is some kind of Google program, okay, and you want to set up your tracking ID to be Google 1 2 3 4 5. You just type in Google there, and it automatically changes all of these cells here, okay, and it changes all of your tracking URLs, which is really cool. Okay, so that's what you can kind of see. What we did here is we set up our ClickBank affiliate ID. Then what we did is we set up an appending format here, and I'll run through this with you in another video. And then we set up our landing page ID there. And then what we did here on this cell is we just simply appended everything. We appended the B5 is the original URL. This was our tracking code, and then this is the landing page, and you have a fully functional forwarded ClickBank hop with tracking code and landing page with very little work. And of course, if you wanted to modify it to the Google program, you just change one cell here, and then it changes absolutely everything. So you've got your new tracking code with Google 1 2 3 4 5 down to however many you need to make. All right, hope you guys found this useful and helpful, and look forward to comments, and let me know what you thought. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.